What's good, y'all? Welcome to Conversation Piece, your place to discover the hidden stories of Indianapolis and all of its wonderful people. My name is Patrick Armstrong. I am your host, and this is The Open Door, our monthly series where we literally open the door to the studio and sit down with community members to talk about whatever is on their hearts at the moment. If you want to learn more or are interested in participating, head to conversationpiecepod.com and click on The Open Door. Last but not least, shout out to Life in Indy for sponsoring this series. With that being said, let's get into it. My guest today is Jose Castillo Jimenez. Jose, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Having me.
You're very you're very welcome. It's like I'm having us because we're representing an organization
Correct,
today.
yeah.
Jose was tagged in last minute to come in and have a conversation, but I believe you are here to talk about Indy Pride.
Yes, yeah.
As far as I am aware, the big thing right now is that it is the 30th anniversary of the organization.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? For people that maybe don't know, actually, let's start here. For people who don't know who you are, do you mind just sharing a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah. So like you mentioned, my name is Jose Castillo Jimenez. I'm originally from Venezuela. Moved to Indy when I was 12.
Okay.
And so I am a proud Hoosier. I mean, I think it took a little bit of like my immigrant self to be like, yeah, I'm a Hoosier. I'm from here. Went to IU, so it's ingrained in me.
Yeah.
I am a very family-centered person. Love building community. I moved to Chicago when I was 21.
Okay.
And I fell in love with the city. I mean, it's where I came out, where I kind of found myself, was away from family, away from my friends. So I just kind of had to grow on my own.
Yeah.
So when I came back to Indy before COVID, I wanted to build community. I wanted to get involved, find my people, which took me to Indy Pride. So now 5 years later, I went from being director of DEI to being VP of community to then being president-elect to now being president for the organization. And I'm proud to represent one of the most diverse boards that Indy Pride has ever had. So leading into 30 years, there's been a big roller coaster of who's represented this organization and who it stands for. And right now we're really focused on making sure that we're representing everyone and everyone feels seen and heard.
I love it. 5 years. So you've been there for a decent amount of time, and I appreciate you sharing almost feel like an accelerated journey from where you came in to where you are now, leading the organization as the president. Talk about even, like you said, the changes that have happened over 30 years. Talk about what's happened just in the 5 years that you've been there, what you've been able to be a part of and experience.
Yeah, I mean, we experienced COVID. So we
obviously forgot about that.
We experienced a virtual festival. So that was its own task, right? And then returning back to being in person was a big deal. During that time, obviously, we had a lot of movements that happened in the world. The Black Lives Matter movement really went on after George Floyd's murder. So just kind of looking inside the organization, who we are and who do we stand for. I think there was a lot of hurt that happened in past with minorities and not everybody being represented, right? I mean, we live in the Midwest. We know where we live. So
we do.
So we wanted to make sure that everybody felt seen. But we needed to work from the inside out. We can't represent, we can't speak, we can't elevate the community if the people doing it don't look like that, right? So we decided to let's talk about board recruitment. So we brought in the most diverse board that we've ever had. It's the last 5 years has continued to that to be true. And now we're okay, cool, we have the people. Now, does our programming and events also represent the community as well? When you look at June, we're not just a parade, we're not just a festival. There are 25 other events in the month of June that we kick off late in May, and they take us all the way through June. I mean, that's Girl Pride, that's Black Pride, that's Latinx Pride, it's AAPI Pride. So there's a spot and a safe space for everyone. So that's where we are now.
I love that, and it sounds like this is the model we should all be following when it comes to how do you properly utilize a quote unquote heritage month or culture month, a cultural month. And it's we intentionally make space for as many people as we can.
Right.
And it's not like we're going to focus and put all of our energy into one day.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to like try and make everybody fit on this one day. And if you don't fit here, then you can't be here.
Yeah.
And make it seem like, oh, we're not going to other people in our own community.
Right.
We're going to bring in as many people as we can.
Yeah.
You talked about like navigating COVID, navigating a pandemic, navigating the virtual space. But now as we have kind of all come out of that in the last couple of years, what does that programmatic shift look like in that time to make sure you're being as inclusive, making sure you're reaching as many different communities within the larger diaspora as possible?
So I think a lot of that is listening, right? Listening to what the community is saying. So we're looking at comments online. We're seeing what people are submitting, like when it's like feedback or any for any event that we do. But really, the last year and a half, we decided to rebrand, re-strategize. Like, who is Indy Pride? So like now, like we've been growing a lot, catching a lot of momentum, right? Yeah. Like we have our biggest staff that we have to date. But what does the next 5 years look like?
Sure.
And we wanted to hear the community's point as well and what they felt. So we started hosting cafes. We did board retreats. We did focus groups. And all of that landed us to like where we are now and who people are seeing who Indy Pride is now. So like in January, we unveiled a new logo, a new mission statement, a new website. We announced all of our June events. We're coming back this June with 2 days, which we heard the community wanted more than 1 day of Pride. So we said, cool, here's 2 days.
It's a festival, baby.
They wanted bigger entertainers. Got that. Obviously with growth comes some growing pains.
Sure.
Indy Pride has always started with hosting a free festival. We've increased the price little by little. I mean, permits cost money.
100%.
Everything is, it's just how business happens. But we're always focusing and keeping the community in mind. So we continue to have our solidarity tickets. So when you purchase a ticket, you can also buy a ticket for somebody else if somebody can't. So people can always submit and email us and like, hey, like we can't afford this. Can you help us out? So there are resources, and we are making sure that most of our events are free. But we're bringing Pride bigger than ever, and like I'm extremely proud of that. And I hope the community enjoys it and they just come out and have a good time.
For sure. You should be proud of that. I think it's really incredible. And I'm super excited to see, especially this year, everything that happens and comes out of, not just everything that is explored and happens during this time, but everything that comes out of this as well. You talked about top of the year, new logo, new mission, new branding, new everything. So who is Indy Pride now?
Indy Pride its main mission is to harness joy and to bring joy to its community. So what does that look like? That could be us, because we can't be everything for everybody.
Sure.
We're not a clinic, so we can't provide like medical resources. So we're like, cool, like we do events. How do we make sure these events are done intentionally and are catching the right audience, right? And then also like strengthening our partnerships. So like whether that's like with Damien Center, with Step Up, with Indian Pride of Color, Latinx Pride, we're making sure that we're not duplicating resources or things that are out there or events that are in the city, but we're partnering with these partners to make them stronger, to elevate them, and to make sure that those resources are being reached and targeting the right people. So I think it's that word of community, like bringing that community sense and making sure that it's safe and it's accessible to everyone.
I am here for that. You talked about being in Chicago, and like that's a lot of formative time spent there. We've been talking about, when we talk about Indy, it's like we're always trying to play catch up in a lot of ways. What ways have you found that, or what things does Indy's LGBTQ community or our Pride community in general do well that like you found unexpected, like that surprised you and caught you off guard?
That's a big question because before I moved to Chicago, I was not out of the closet. So I hadn't experienced the queer space in Indy before I moved. And then when I came back, I became a part of it. So I was like fully immersed in it. But I think what makes it special is the love that exists and the support that exists within the community as well. There's a lot of legacy that exists with like our queer bars, with the owners of the drag queens. You think about Greg's, who's been around for years and has been such a fundamental part of the queer community here in Indy. But I think it's just the love and the history that exists here, and just bringing it to life and shedding light to it, which we're hoping to do in June. Just kind of honoring the 30 years that we've had here in Indy. Just because, I mean, it started with activism work.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just a party. It started with activism, like give us our space at the table so that we can advocate for our people. And now we get to celebrate it. So I think that piece, that community piece, even though we're growing, our city's growing, and I love being here. But I always hope that we can keep that like family feel around always.
I feel like that's something that Indy does well, I guess, especially when I talk to transplants that have come here and they're like, it's about like we stay because of that communal, familial feel that ends up like seeping into us in whatever way.
Yeah.
Okay, so June, 30 years, lots of things coming up, 25 events ranging across all different spectrums. What are things that you want people to know about? Like, you got to be here. You got to know that we got this going on. Like, what things are you super, super excited about?
I think the biggest piece is that our parade is not moving. So we're going to stay on Mass Ave. There are no plans, no talks to move our parade. Good. So that will continue to be our home. It is a free event. So that'll happen on June 14th. And then following that, on that Saturday, we'll have a free celebration at the Circle, which will include local entertainment and local resources and partners. We're going to have some food, some music. So that'll be fun and completely free and open to everyone. And then word of mouth. I think word of mouth is just... We called it that because we wanted the community to talk about it. We started like leaving like QR codes and leaving stickers and new logos in different places so people could be like, oh, we think this is happening around the city, right? And word of mouth is going to be our 2-day music series, which there was a lot of thought and heart and passion that went into it.
Yeah.
It's going to be from 2 to 10 on both June 14th and 15th. It is a ticketed event. You can do a 2-day ticket. You can do a 1-day ticket. You can get that all through our website. But it's the biggest headliners. I mean, we're going to have Natasha Bedingfield, Tinashe, Aluna, Coco and Breezy.
Damn.
Big Wild. So just some names that like some people may know, some people may not know them. But I think there's a little bit of taste for everyone.
Yeah.
And the lineup represents such a big part of our community. It's not just one community that we're representing. We try to represent everyone, obviously within our money range that we could afford.
Always within the budgetary range.
Yeah. But there was a lot of thought that went into it when we were looking at artists and everything when it talks about the experience for the customer, for the community when they come and experience this. So.
That's exciting as hell.
Yeah.
We're going to have all of the event ticketed links, all of that stuff in the show notes for people to be able to get into and tap into as well. So make sure you get there because if you don't get a ticket, then you're not going to be able to see this incredible lineup of people. Like, that's dope. How often do we have like awesome stuff like that happening in Indy? A lot more frequently now, but like, the more we can continue to support stuff like this, and the more that people are willing to take the risk and make things like this happen, the more often we can do it bigger and better in celebration and support of our communities.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is all happening here in Indianapolis, which I think is the best, which is awesome because this is where I live. This is the city where my kid is growing up. And I want him to be able to experience all of the incredible things that have happened here that are happening here now, but are built upon, like you said, 30 years of work.
Yeah.
So with that in mind and thinking of place, for you, Jose Castillo Jimenez, what does Indianapolis mean to you?
That's a big question. For me, it means family. It means family. Not because just I'm a family person, but when I was able to leave and I left something here, like a different part of who I was before I left to Chicago. And then I came back and I was able to keep ties to that background, that history. Yeah. But also I was able to build a family, my chosen family. Yeah. That brings me joy, that is there to support me, that is there to uplift me. Being in community work, you're always like wanting to push the lines, right? Push the barriers, like just like, hey, like, why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? Like, why can't we reinvent the wheels? Because that gap is missing for our people, for our brown people, our immigrants, for women, for trans individuals. And anybody who doesn't represent the norm or a white individual, right? So just wanting to make sure that we're making space for everyone. And honestly, like that's family. I always tell my friends, like, I don't have friends, I have family, because I will go to bat for you always. Maybe I'll like hit you in the side of the head, like and like behind closed doors, but like I got your back, and I'm gonna always advocate for you and advocate for everyone. But when I think of Indy, I definitely think of family, whether that's blood family or my chosen family. That's just what comes to mind.
I love it. And I don't want to give y'all a new slogan, but I think it could be Indy Pride. We're not friends, we're family.
There we go.
Here we go. Should I work in marketing? No, I'm just kidding.
Tina, did you hear that?
I love it. And I think, like, again, we are currently at a moment in history where shit's not great, I don't think, overall.
Yeah.
And I think it's really easy to give in to the hopelessness that exudes out of every corner of the internet at the moment. Yeah. What gives me a lot of hope, though, is work that people like yourself are doing and people at Indy Pride are doing. What gives me even more hope is that we are recognizing the work that has been done and building upon that. Because I think I'm part of a community that a lot of us started to have these conversations in 2020 because of the pandemic. We were at home, we had nothing to do but research our histories and our past and unpack our stories. And it led to a lot of conversations. But a lot of those conversations felt new and it felt like the first time they were happening.
Yeah.
But what I've come to discover is like, no, this is just built upon lots of stuff that was just unfortunately buried or pushed to the margins.
Yeah.
And it's taken, all of this time for us to get to a point where we can openly talk about this and where a mass group of people can all come to consciousness about their identity at the same time and start to really change and push back against the dominant narratives that have said, this is what normal is and this is what normal isn't, and redefine what that means.
Exactly.
So I appreciate the work that y'all are doing. I'm super excited to continue supporting that work. And I know that you said lots of stuff on the website. That's where you can get the tickets. That's where you can find schedule, everything that's going on for the rest of 2025, specifically in June. But before we let you get out of here, what is and what other ways can we support you, follow y'all, find you? What do y'all need from us going forward?
I think right now the biggest ask for the community is to continue to support us. Obviously, in the political climate that we're living in, it's not easy to do the work that we do.
Right.
There's a lot of barriers being put up. A lot of companies, corporate companies or private companies are pulling back from their DEI initiatives. So the same money isn't coming in.
Right.
I am the board president, and that sounds like a fancy title, but I don't get paid for this work. It's completely volunteer. So I would say, if you know anybody that can donate, please go to our website, donate, buy a ticket. All the money that we spend, that you're spending for the word of mouth, for example, goes back into our budget to go back into the community. We're not there to make money. We're there to just sustain ourselves and continue to grow and bring more resources. So if it's monetary support, great. If there's other ways that you can support as well, we're always looking forward to that. We're always looking for more new partnerships as well. But I would say support our events, show up. If you see a post, share it, tag us, comment on it, especially on social media. That's the way that the word gets out right now. So if you can just go and share, comment, donate, that'd be the biggest way that you can support Indy Pride right now.
There we go. Find ways to engage, even if it's a like or a comment or a share on social media. Any of those small things help. And what we need to do right now is be investing in our community, investing in our family, finding ways to not necessarily be reliant on institutional funding so we can support ourselves, sustain ourselves, and continue to grow and build and do it bigger and better each year. Yeah. Jose, thank you so much for coming by. I really, really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having us.
100%. Make sure y'all check out Indy Pride's work. Again, everything linked in the show notes, and go to conversationpiecePod.com for everything Conversation Piece. Shout out to Life in Indy for sponsoring this series. And until next time, I've been Patrick Armstrong, and this has been The Open Door. We'll see y'all soon.